Welcome everyone to the next edition of Mython AI Times. I'm so happy to see so many faces here in person and also online. My name is Tonda Hoskovec. I'm the main organizer of Mython AI Times, and today we have prepared a special episode for everyone. It's a joint episode with Cinkátko and Míša Gregorová. I wanted to ask you, everything is going to happen as per usual. If you have any questions, please keep them for the end. If you have questions online, just type them into the chat and we will ask them for you at the end too. And with that, I'm going to hand over to Míša.
Hi, so my name is Michala. I will be the host of today's discussion. The discussions will be recorded and become a new episode of our Mython podcast, Cinkátko. Thanks, Tonda, for allowing this. And now let's skip to the fun part. Please, let me please welcome my guests. Tomáš Gogár, co-founder and CEO of Rossum. Hi.
Hi.
Hi, Tomáš. And co-founder and CEO of Equilibre, Martin Schmid. Ciao, Martine.
Ciao.
I'm so glad that you are both here. I wanted to provide our audience with some basic context. So there are some very basic information about both companies. You both have two co-founders. How did it happen that you are the CEO of the company? Tomáš.
Because I would be worse CTO.
Martine.
For me, I think it's because all three of us are quite autistic, and I think I'm the only one who can kind of speak to investors.
Okay, then decided. Thank you. I will return the presentation so that everyone can see your names. How does the current AI hype influence your business? I was listening to Data Talk with Pasky, with your co-founder, who was telling something like, it's easier to explain to people that AI can help us with things they didn't know is possible. But on the other hand, everyone thinks that they can vibe code your solution.
I would agree. I think overall for us it's positive because people realize its importance, and we are selling to big enterprises, so that means it got to the board level of the importance. It wasn't like that before. So suddenly you have boards of the companies asking their CEOs, and they're asking their CIOs, and what's our AI strategy? And they have dedicated budgets for that, and that's something you can work with. At the same time, the current AI hype, it's so strong in I'm going to show you prototype in 5 minutes, that also the competition, there's more competition in the market, right? So the pie got bigger, but also a lot of people are waiting in the queue for the pie. But overall, I believe it's positive.
Yeah, so you would say it's better than it was 5 years ago for your business?
Oh yeah, totally.
Okay.
Yeah.
Martine?
So I will follow up on the competition getting harder. And so when we started, we knew this is the future, and we started very much ahead of everyone else in the industry. And I think because of the current hype, even the largest players in algorithmic trading are realizing, holy shit, this is going to happen, and they are slowly starting to invest and build teams. And those are the players that we are very much against, head-to-head directly trading against. So it's the competition is only going to get more and more fierce for us.
Mm-hmm. And is there some bright side of the current hype that would you count as influence for your business?
So this one, I wouldn't necessarily say it's super bad thing, because it's not a big surprise, right? We kind of expected this is going to happen, and I'm not complaining, but it's well, I'm kind of complaining, but yeah, I don't see it as a big deal. On the upside, I would say is it gets more people excited about going to like study something technical and maybe study some AI, and we will get more amazing junior people in the next few years.
Okay. Hey, this discussion should be very much about like inspiration and about how it is to build your own AI company. So let me begin with very basic question. What was like the initial idea about your company, and how far was it from what you are doing now?
I'm with the other co-founders in the AI lab, and
Sorry, Tom, can everyone hear us clearly, even in the back part of the room? Is it okay, this level of...
shall we shout?
Or you can go to the front. Sorry, Tom, sorry.
And we actually started a different business before Rossum, and we got into competition there with folks like Microsoft fairly quickly. And you don't want to compete with Microsoft if you are a one-year-old company. So we kind of like, we actually sold that for a couple of million Czech crowns.
Really?
It got us some basic
what was
runway.
it?
I don't want to disclose the details. What was the product? It was like online image classification.
Okay.
Okay. And then we realized, okay, we need unfair advantage. And our unfair advantage was in how we understand how AI can be applied to reading the documents. But we didn't want to build a company that is there just to read documents. You know, like imagine mission of the company, read 1 billion PDFs. We didn't want that because maybe in 50 years from now, there will be no PDFs. So we were looking for the first principles behind those documents. And we realized that the documents exist because they are a form of communication between companies. And that's why we started Rossum with the mission to make the communication between companies frictionless.
But did you know this 10 years ago
Yes.
when you were starting, really? That was the initial thinking?
Because we went through kind of failed startup, and we saw that you need to have the fundamentals right, and we wanted to have the fundamentals right. So we said, okay, we need to solve why we went and started to solve documents, but the why behind that was communication.
Okay.
And the reason why I'm talking about that is, so we are building Rossum as a platform that helps you communicate with other businesses, and usually that comes via documents, emails, whatever. And how far we are from that, I can say that today Rossum is really like more communication platform rather than just AI for documents. Honestly, like in our latest pricing, we generate just about 30% of revenue from reading the documents. The rest is how we enable companies communicate with other companies that are sending them the documents. So we are getting there. We still don't read 1 billion documents per year, but
1 billion was the initial...
that was like,
That was the
1 billion. Yeah, you put it on the board, right? We are behind the plan. We are behind the initial plan, but we are getting there.
I can generate some for you.
Yeah. AWS would be very happy if you read it.
Thank you. Martina, how far are you now from the initial idea about Equilibre?
Very surprisingly close.
You are both so like wise. You knew it from the beginning what you wanted to do. Okay.
And I would say like almost unusual and surprisingly close if you go like all the way back to like some of the slides, like things we want to build, where we want to be basically now. So far we are surprisingly on track, which is I would say unusual.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's do basic first. Does it even make sense to start your own AI startup right now? Is it not better to be, I don't know, carpenter? Like, what is, like, for plumber, carpenter, like, for people in the room, what is essential to consider when you are thinking, let's say, in 5-year horizon, and you want to start your own AI business this year?
Mm-hmm. Depends on why you are doing it, right? Can I turn it around a bit? Rossum received and still receives acquisition offers all the time. And I refused some good names. And whenever I was telling them no, I was thinking, what if the outcome for me from this is 0 at the end? Am I not doing mistake? And my excuse to say no was, but I'll learn something, right? So if your goal is to learn something, then start AI business.
Okay.
If your goal is to have sustainable salary in 2050, maybe carpenter is very, I don't know, but it depends on your goals, right? So I don't know how you mean the question, like.
I will tell you, I will let Martin talk and then I will process your answer, because I also love learning, but you've been learning already like over 10 years. So I'm thinking like, is this still the strong enough motivation to run the business? If the only motivation would be like learning something new. That was what was in my head when I was listening to you.
Yeah, but also the problem we are solving is still not solved. So I'm fascinated by the puzzle, and let's try to solve it.
So I like that answer. It's very much what you want to get out of it. What's your motivation? If you want to if you want to work really hard on something that you find cool with like a bunch of like friends or amazing people, then yeah, that's a good motivation to do it. And then absolutely, I would say there are also like many bad reasons to do it, which often are actually why people go for it. Which is like, I want to be a business guy. Being entrepreneur is cool. All of these things. I don't think that's a good motivation. That's not a good reason to do it. And usually those are also like not a good companies.
Okay, so we were talking about motivation, but would you add something to like something more practical on the checklist? How to think about like what would be your checklist in 2025 when thinking about starting your own company, like more practically, like?
Yeah, I think the challenge, and people don't realize it, everybody talks about AI, but it's about the problem you want to solve with the AI and understanding that problem. And you might not understand it at the beginning. We didn't understand it at the beginning. But going after a problem and understanding it can have same value, maybe even more than just the AI part. Because there are millions of people, billions of people out there that want to use AI for their problem, but they don't know how. And what they are looking for is somebody who understands the problem and the AI. And that's very unique. So you can be very unique in understanding AI and understanding the problem. And that's your defense, right? When you ask me like, will Rossum be destroyed by OpenAI? Nope. Because customers we work with just can't take OpenAI and use it. They have other things that they need to do. They need somebody who can help them to actually use it. So for me, it's not just about AI, right? It's about the problem you are solving with the AI. And so there will be a lot of people that understand AI or can use off-the-shelf AI. That's not the differentiator anymore. We were kind of like cool kids back in 2017. Hey, those guys are machine learning, right? But I don't feel that's the differentiator anymore, and it will be the problem.
Okay, Martin.
So for me, like your question was basically like, what would be the like checklist? And I think kind of a good checklist is having for yourself good answer for like why me, why this team, why now. So those are like really good questions that you should better have a good answer. And for that, yeah, like learning things is important, but like that's not a good answer for these questions, right? Like why should it be me? Like what makes this team, this idea, this timing special? The answer is because I want to learn new things.
Okay, let's dive a little bit into the team part. You both have like 2 co-founders. Do you have any advice how to choose your co-founders? Because it's like, marriage, let's say.
So I can start this one. So first, I think it's, from my experience, actually a really good idea to have two co-founders.
Okay, not just one, not three.
So, I mean, one is also probably really good. Having zero, I don't think is a good idea.
It's too lonely, you think?
Yeah, I think it's too lonely, and you will just make bad decisions, right? It's if you don't have like someone to like go through your decisions, like to really go through it deeply, discuss, push back, have like a good type of arguments, then you will make so much more mistakes. So yeah, I would say like zero is not a good idea. One is probably good. I only know about two, and two is great. And can you remember how exactly you phrased the question?
If you have any advice how to choose them,
Got it.
Perhaps in your case was they...
So yeah, I mean my co-founders, I spent like many years working with them at Google DeepMind, before at IBM Research. So those are people that I spent many years with. With Matěj, we actually started together back at Matfis at the very undergrad level. Okay. So we actually did math, and now me and Matěj work together more than half of our lives, which is a lot.
You were basically very good friends before you started.
So we want people that you already have a lot of experience with, people we can trust, and people you already like had arguments with.
Okay, Tomáš.
I think it's similar. We were friends. We had some experience working together, and mutual respect, which helps you to have those arguments and to listen to each other. We had this, and I haven't founded 5 companies, so I don't know. I don't want to generalize. It's just our experience that when you have co-founders that you value and you listen to each other, it makes you better, right? And also if you are a little bit complementary, that also helps.
This is a very good point with like how to be complementary. That was what was my initial question about. Why is that you are the CEOs of your companies? You know, like what, in which way your founders complement you, how it works in your cases. That's what I'm like curious about, because you said you would be worse CTO, so obviously. Is it more about like soft skills that are complementary, or technical skills?
Can be anything. But also, just in our case, again, I don't want to generalize. I'm the one who is like the biggest generalist. Let's do a little bit of AI, let's speak to the customer, let's talk to the investor, a little bit of everything. Peter is, in my opinion, like technical genius, and like he's the CTO. And Tomáš's sweet spot is more like solving the puzzle. Let me be here and solve the puzzle. And so I think it's from our like how generalist we are, and that also is reflected on what we do. And obviously somebody's more wider, less deep, and somebody's deeper, less wide. That's how we do that.
Martina, is that like similar in your
I would
case?
say very similar. The only thing maybe to add is, I think over time it also evolves, right? As in, I wonder whether it was the same for Tomáš, but I think we started like more similar in terms of like experience, things we do, and everything. And as the time went, like each of us like had to like evolve in different ways for what the company needs.
Yeah.
It sounds like there is always like big amount of luck. If you are not lucky with choosing your co-founders, then perhaps you cannot be successful. I don't know, but you were lucky.
So much luck around the way. One thing around the co-founders, I think it's good if you have co-founders that just make you better every day and they push you. By, I have this analogy, Beatles. What's the probability that 4 people in Liverpool would be all like geniuses? 0, like it's 0. But it's probably like, okay, he wrote this music, I now need to write the lyrics. And you like pushed each other up. And I do believe that happens with bands and with co-founding teams.
Do you feel like being in a rock band sometimes?
No, I'm
Doing your AI business.
I'm in a good band.
Maybe let me follow up on the luck thing, because 100% I agree, but you can also maybe turn it into what would be negative data point for why you maybe shouldn't do the startup, right? Say you've spent I don't know, a few years working in say tech industry or university, or they work on quite a few projects with quite a few people, and then you say, okay, I have this idea, I want to start something. If after all these years with all the people that you work with, you will not have people who are fuck hell, I like this guy, I enjoy working with this guy, I want to do it with him, then something is wrong.
Okay, so it's also about self-reflection. If people are not following you, then perhaps you are not the right person to. That's interesting.
At the same time, you learn about integrity and about the people when the shit hits the fan, right? And sometimes, at least at the university, it's a little bit like fake environment. You are really not exposed to
what?
To mistakes that can kill what you are building, right? It's the paper might go wrong, or the experiment might go wrong, but it's I think it's the hard times when the best teams are actually being fully formed.
So I 100% agree with that. Maybe what I meant is, say after many years either at university or tech industry, whatever, right? You come and contact 20 people that you work with the most, and each of them tell you, no, I don't want to go to do startup with you. Something is fishy.
Yeah. I honestly have back in my head, I have a list of Rossumers I would like to start companies with. That's
okay.
my ultimate judgment of there are all those HR reviews, and for me it's would I like to start a company?
Do I want to spend so much time with you or not in the future? Okay, that's the. Do you remember who were your first free hires? What people do? What they were specialized in? Were they technical or?
In our case, it was 2 technical and one business.
Martina, in your case, it's
so
just technical people.
It was all all technical and asterisks. I can explain the asterisks. But for us the first few hires were actually more than 3, because from day one when we were starting, I just approached 10 best people that we worked with over the years.
Okay.
And that was the initial team.
And everyone wanted to work with you.
Or with other co-founders, I don't know.
Okay. Okay, nice. Would you think differently now this year about hiring people, especially junior people, in the context of improving AI agents? Is there something you would do differently hiring your initial team this year than you did at the beginning?
Close.
Yeah.
Honestly, we have clear goals that we want to boost productivity, and we will not be hiring as much as we used to. We want Rossum output and outcomes be much disciplines to the size of the company in terms of headcount. So less. Honestly.
Can you elaborate on this a little bit? That's also very interesting angle.
There are projects where I'll give an example. Rossum has 2 lawyers, in-house lawyers. It's already quite a big business. We do a lot. We need inside lawyers. We would already need 3 without AI. Period. That's an example. And obviously, the ratios are different in coding, in HR, in strategy, but this is a nice example. Rossum would need already 3 lawyers. We have 2.
But this is not that much connected with like improving AI skills. It's more about like being better focused.
No, it's because they are.
It's because
it's
of this.
because they have set of prompts, set of
Okay.
Gemini gems, and it's just because of usage of AI, and a little bit of process probably,
Okay.
but the AI plays a role there.
Martine, something
So-
like this?
So, okay, I'm looking at it in the same way in terms of there's better ways to like go faster, make bigger, better, larger things than just hire more people. As in, I think that's like the default and often wrong answer. Like, let's just hire more people. That I don't like that. You basically ask like, would we? If the question was whether we would hire like differently in terms of different types of people, I would say no.
Okay.
Especially for the junior people, as in like what we are looking for junior people is someone who's just like extraordinarily talented, and that's the same regardless of whether they use AI tools or not.
How do you define talent in this?
Well, that's very simple definition, which is they pass our interview.
Okay. And what are you asking them, or what are you looking for? Can you be more specific? Because like extremely talented people, everyone wants extremely talented people, but what does it mean?
So yes, everyone wants talented people. I think everyone thinks that they have talented people, but it's because they don't know any better. Yeah. I know. I would say that there's like over the years I've worked with like some like crazy cool people. I think what like a good team, good person is, and you just like build an intuition, and then you just try to hire those people.
We have it quite not defined, but for example, in engineers, and it's not coming from my head, so it's Basqui's expectation, that you are either technically excellent or you need to be very like product and customer aware engineer, or ideally both. But if you don't have one of those, you can't be. That's how he defines like, you know,
Like excellence or
you can be above average and like or like top 5 percentile, but in what sense? You have engineers that are not or scientists or whatever that are not necessarily like deep mind level, but they can be extremely product and customer aware, and can even like connect like with other teams and get the knowledge, and it's for us it turned out it's extremely valuable. And then you have engineers that are like not talking to anybody and are like genius level and can do amazing technical stuff, and also there are people that are able to excel in both. So we have those two.
like metrics.
Does the person check at least one of those boxes?
Can you tell me what do you mean in Rossum by like being customer or product aware? For me, that's too abstract. Like how can you tell? How does it manifest? Is it with like curiosity about?
Because if you are a team of 10 people, everybody kind of knows everything. But when it gets bigger, the engineer, there are just engineers, for example, that absolutely disagree to work on something until they really understand the why behind that, and that's good in a certain way. And they can just somehow, they know it. You know, they go to kitchen, talk to people, they even listen to some sales calls. Like, you know, it's having the context. So.
Can you recognize this during the interviews, or do you have to wait until?
There are ways how you can sense check. But one of my mentors says that there are some good people at work and there are some good people in interviews, and that doesn't necessarily mean the same. You know, so you can increase your chances. I don't know, do you think you are 100% accurate in your hiring? Right.
Okay. We are both quite experienced in raising money from investors. That's like another topic I want to touch briefly. Starting your own startup, what to look for when choosing investors at the beginning?
I would say it's more than just money. So like good investor brings lot more than money.
What is it in your case that you would look for?
So a few things. One is like good investors know when to help and when not to try to help. And there's also a saying that you only really like get to know your investor when like things are not going well. So I kind of hope we will never know which investor is good for us. But yeah, for like we are only 3 years in, as in like we are much like younger stage than Rossum. So I'm curious how that changes over time.
I'm also curious.
I would totally agree with the good ones know when to help and when to
When
help.
to be quiet.
On our level, even when to talk on the board level and when to just not to talk. Yeah.
But if you were starting your company again now, what you would look for?
I would look, honestly,
Oh, maybe.
I prefer, for one of my board advisors, like I actually learned that, at least for me, it's better to work with ex-operators rather than just like VCs that never operated the business. There's a lot of VCs that are ex-bankers and Rossum went through layoffs and it sucks. I tell you, if you need to like send, it's the worst part. And I heard one CEO said, "You are not the real CEO until you had to do this." It tremendously sucks. And the VC that never has done that will tell you, "Okay, you need to cut the company by 20%. Okay, when will you do that?" The operator that has done that understands that it sucks, it's hard for you, and talks to you differently, supports you, helps you. And in those moments, it matters more than the Excel spreadsheet. So if I were doing a business again, I would be tough on VCs. I would have more angels, ex-operators, rich people that has done that. Because I'm telling you, if you are in the room and there are some folks that built and sold unicorns, and when they are speaking, the VCs don't speak because they realize they don't know. It's you know, and the good VCs do realize that, and they bring you those people to the room. The good VCs, look, it's their background and they know they don't have it, so they realize the limit and they bring those people. So I would definitely be more angel oriented.
Would you start your company in Prague again?
Yes.
Both of you. What is the good thing about running business in Prague?
So I think quite a few. One is obviously there's a huge talent pool, especially on the technical side.
Okay.
And
coming from Czech universities, from
Yes.
academia?
yes, so that on its own is great, but to make it amazing, you somehow like need to mix in the talent with the experience. So I think the model that works really well for us is to take the local talented and like well-educated people and bring in people with a lot of experience from abroad, bring them here and mix these people together. That's I think a way to do something amazing. And the second part for why I would do it again here is it's much easier to So say we would be doing it in SF or whatever, right? It's so much harder once you like actually build an amazing team and attract the talent and like put everything together. It's so much harder to keep them together in like SF and other places, because there's so many like new and sexy things popping up like every few months, right? And it's kind of a good thing that there's not that many sexy AI things happening in Prague, because then it's easier to be one of the like few places where it's like good to do some stuff.
And is it for you difficult to convince people from abroad to live in Prague? Because I know your team is here in Prague. Is it difficult to convince them to move to Prague, sometimes even with their families?
So I think we did actually a really good job on that side of things. Like we moved some like very legit people from like all over the world, including like families, and I think everyone who knows those people would agree that we couldn't done much better.
And how did you do it?
I think it's some combination of critical mass, where once you have like initial really good team, then getting the N+1 person is easier because they want to work with the people that are already there. And for getting the first few, we have been lucky to work with some like really big names in AI, and they like that makes it so much easier to then get those people.
Thank you, Tomáš. What is great with Prague when hiring people?
I agree with the tech talent pool, but
I think that should be said more often, or it's somehow...
At the same time, honestly, I don't think that the location is what decides about your success. And sometimes I feel that we are like, I hear it all the time in news, like, Prague, the AI hub, and Prague tech talent. Come on, we don't have a direct flight to the US. Like, come on, like, tell it to people that live in London. And that blocks the business. When somebody who lives in New York wants to come to Prague, wants to work for you, and wants to come every month, that's pain in the ass. So, like, let's just not paint it all bright. Like, okay, we have very good technical talent but honestly, and safe city, safe country, very cosmopolitan actually. But there's so many things. Up until now we didn't have ESO. We don't have the direct flights. So I just want to say it out loud that it's not that perfect, because I think somebody who's responsible for that should kind of work on this.
Okay. One more like very practical question about starting your own company. What to expect in the way, for example, you want to start your company, how fluffy should your financial pillow be? You know, like those practical aspects of starting your own company. Do you have any advice on this?
You mean like yours as a founder? I think good enough so that if you get 0 out of it, which you will very likely get 0, then you will be okay with that.
Okay.
When you are starting, I think it's good if you have, because at the beginning, typically you don't go and raise money in the day one, right? You typically build some prototype, you go to customers, you do some testing. At least that was in our case. So you need to have either some pillow or some source of income, which can be extremely modest, because you might be living, when you are founding, very modest life. And I believe you need at least a year of runway to work on the thing.
1 year.
At least. Because like, what's the probability that you will nail it in 6 months?
Yeah.
Right? Or you just might bump into an angel that just trusts you as a founder and would cover you for 12 months. But you need to somehow what you need with your co-founders is space of at least 12 months to focus on the thing, or pivot, or iterate.
Hey, I have so many questions left, but it's already 45 minutes we are talking, so perhaps the last one, and then we should like provide space for questions from the audience. Hey, this one is kind of obvious, but I have to ask this. What would you build today if you weren't working on Rossum or Equilibre?
What would I be doing?
Mm-hmm. What would you build, perhaps?
Oh, build.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I see. So, like, if it was different startup, what
Yeah, like different business idea.
Okay.
Do you have something in your head about this?
Yeah, I think I would probably have a lot of fun working on drones.
Drones. Okay. Like hardware, really.
Well, no, more on the software side of it, as in like AI for drones.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And why is that?
I don't know, I kind of...
Is there some is it like topic that's somehow close to you, or is it like that you see some big opportunity in this space, or what is the thinking behind it?
Oh, I see. So yeah, I mean, it's more. Okay, that's a good question. It's the things we do in particle, right? Like AI is a broad term, but what we do and we have always been doing are those self-learning kind of enforcement algorithms. When we started, we thought that trading and finance is a like perfect domain and fit for those, and that like we believe it like even more today than we did before. But if I were to find like another domain where I think reinforcement learning is a perfect like fit and timing, I think there are like very cool happenings for reinforcement learning in a robotic space.
Okay.
So that's why.
Understand. Tomáš?
I don't have my list.
Yeah. You don't have any backup idea?
The more ideas that I have are more like outside computers, because spend so much time in that. So.
I will ask differently. In AI space, are there like ideas you see and like?
Yes.
Can you name some?
No, I don't want to.
Oh, come on.
I don't want to. The people wouldn't like that I'm mentioning it.
Okay, let's leave it like this. Thank you very much. Before we jump to your questions, there is already like date for another Method AI Times. It will be in September with Petr Lupač. He's a sociologist from Charles University. He did research on how people are using AI, LLMs, like normal people, and he will be talking about this. And for sure, like a little bit like hiring window. If you are thinking about changing what you are doing now, then there is this QR code that you might find useful. And now I will ask Tonda perhaps to help us with questions from the audience.
So there's already one question online to get us started. There's a question on how do you find customers to help you figure out or validate the products to market fit? I think that's more close to it. You might need to repeat it.
I might need to repeat it. How do you find customers to validate your business idea to get a product market fit?
So let me answer first, which is I will give you a perfect answer, which is that's the best part you don't.
So what?
Oh, the answer was that's the best part you don't.
For you, yeah?
In our case, you have to. It's hard, all right? You just need to go out there. That's what we learn. At the beginning, we thought that we are the geeks and we will hire somebody who does the sales. And by sales, we meant go out there and talk to people. And what we learned is that you have to do that. And that's I don't know how about you, but our sweet spot is sit behind the computers and build stuff. And it's so hard to like postpone that sweet spot for later and actually talk to people or build bad prototype and go out there. So you just have to go somewhere.
But how do you find them? Do you ask like friends if they know someone or?
That there are many definitions of what is product market fit. I like the one by point 9. You have customers that have some problem. You have solution to that customers, and then you have channel to them. And when it's all perfectly aligned, it starts to flow, and you have the product market fit. If you can't find the customers, that's already a sign that it will be hard to build a channel. You know, so and that typically happens when you have this tool and you don't know what it's good for. So if you have rough thinking about, okay, there might be people that have this problem, how can I find them online, is already the exercise of finding the product market fit. Then you find them, then you write them. You write them on LinkedIn, you try to go to conference where they might be, whatever. But that's already building product market fit.
Okay, cool. Someone here?
Yeah. Any questions from the audience?
Yeah.
You mentioned that to start a company, you should have the motivation to learn something new. How many times do you think during this time you were faced with a hard problem and you just continued because you had a great motivation to solve that problems, and how many times you just pulled through because you have this quality of grit and saying, I am not stopping until I solve something, even if I'm tired, if I don't want to? Does it make sense?
1,574 times.
All the time.
Like, honestly, all the time. All the time. Mm-hmm. And there are like big challenges. Okay, the AI doesn't work. We don't have training data. But then they are like, oh, our only salesperson that was actually selling something left. You know, like, it's gazillion times, honestly. And it's just pain after pain after pain. You win, right? But I'm more like, I see more the pain than the winning, because I'm able to usually celebrate wins for like 30 seconds and then I'm looking for other pain. So that's how I see it.
That's why I didn't believe when you said 8, you know. That was the reason I was laughing. Martina, how hard is this for you, and how much is grit important?
Oh, it's like mega important. Mm-hmm. And like, I think if the answer for this question wouldn't be all the time, then we wouldn't be already sitting here. Mm-hmm. If it takes like a single challenge that you like don't overcome, and then you are dead.
Anyone else?
Which, by the way, that's your mode, right? There are others that will not. Whenever you cross something difficult, it's a good news, because there will be other competitors that will not make it. So good challenges are good. Makes you.
There's one more question online, perhaps. What would you suggest to a third-year student of information technology if they want to start something other than AI, but in tech?
What to build in tech when you are a student and you don't want to do anything in the AI field is the question.
Something different than AI. Yeah.
Don't apply to Y Combinator, they will not accept you.
Maybe today they will not accept me in AI because now this is quantum and other stuff.
Right?
I mean, like one answer could be just call it AI, and that's it.
No, but like we don't know the example, right? But I'm wondering whether there can be some software products that can avoid AI, unless there are some hardcore crypto infrastructure thing or something similar.
Makes sense. Any other questions?
As like a software engineer, what are some ways to improve entrepreneurial skills before actually starting your company?
How to build your entrepreneurial skills before starting the company?
Yeah.
Just go solve some big problem for your boss. Honestly. it often requires a lot of entrepreneurial skills. Like in the bigger companies, you need to talk to those people, that people. You need to persuade some other teams to take time for your project. It's I do believe that companies actually consist of small entrepreneurial challenges.
Do you want to add something?
I would come back to one thing that I alluded to earlier, which is ask yourself whether if you wanted to do it now, whether you would find like 5 people that you work with that would do it with you. If not, then that's something to work on.
Cool.
That was one more question, right?
I wanted to ask, like, when you started your business, did you start it like full time from day one, or did you start it like small, working or studying or something like that? And would you like recommend starting right away, or?
Sorry, I have to repeat. When you were starting your business, did you start full time from the beginning, and what would be your recommendation?
So yeah, I can certainly say how it was for us, with the big asterisk that this is like not the usual way, which is like we started like not day one, day zero, we pretty much started in a negative day, as in when the way we started is we basically raised while we were still working at DeepMind, with the understanding that we just have to leave DeepMind to like start full time, right? So for us, the answer was like we pretty much like jumped into it, but I understand that's not how it usually happens.
So you are saying that you raised money before you even like started your company?
I mean, well, somewhat, right? Like there's like some timings and everything, but the idea was okay, like this is the deal. For this to be finished, you guys have to leave Google.
Which you can do if you work at DeepMind, but if you don't, probably not gonna happen, right? The DeepMind, the brand itself, the fact that you are in such a such a space gives you the credibility that allows you to raise it.
You work in OpenAI. Here's the $1 million.
Yeah.
You won't visit. Yeah.
But I think when we were talking about the runway, the 12 months runway, who has 12 months runway of money, right? So I actually realized that this is the other option, just to do that part-time. And I think that's probably, maybe Mitten guys could tell us more, but that's probably how majority of businesses start, as a part-time project.
I would maybe add it's not... One good option that's usually not that hard is for the like initial 6 months or whatever, if you find like a good angel/safe ticket. That I think is the usual easy way.
Yeah. But again, in that moment, people are betting just on you. No prototype, no validation, nothing. So, and when they are betting on you, you need to have some social proofs, which DeepMind, for example, is amazing social proof, right?
What are others?
References. I think if I imagine, like, if Martin comes to Mitten guys and says, I have this guy, he's amazing, he needs 6 months of salary to work on this prototype, they would listen.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
So references also.
Okay. Cool.
Sorry to create you just the pipeline of Martin friends coming for money.
But the Glammy guys are also from Mitten, so you can make a lot of friends here.
Yeah, for sure. That's the purpose.
Right. Any other questions?
Okay.
Well,
David.
Sorry, I didn't see you.
Also,
My bad.
yeah. I have a question to Tomáš. So how did you guys get from the geeks who like to stay behind the computer to like selling to enterprises? Like when choosing, like defining the customer. It's not like the easiest one. With also like long conversions and.
I think it's a combination. Oh, you want to repeat the question, right?
How did you?
I can repeat it.
Can you repeat it?
How did we shift it from being geeks to sell to enterprises? It's a combination of the learning and the grit, because you realize, okay, here's an opportunity, here's a value, and I need to solve it, and I need to try it. So you try. But honestly, I'm not a good enterprise salesperson. I think
No?
then you need to find people that are better at that. It's super hard. So if you want your company to be successful, and learnings show you that this is the path to be successful, you have to do that. And there are many examples of situations like this.
Yeah. How soon did you go search for an investor, and did you already have an MVP? And like, how did you actually look for the investor? Did you have someone who you could already reach, who would be like a likely candidate to be an investor, or did you use some services for it, or contacts?
In which phase did you look for investors? Did you have anything? And
So let me start. Again, with the disclaimer, that's probably not how we want to do it. So we had nothing. Rossum was actually quite helpful, because we literally knew nothing about the space. So we approached Pasky to ask him, well, you guys are already few years in doing well. Who do we talk to? So that was our first step actually, and only after we talked to the investors, we created 5 slides, and that was it for us.
So you had an idea to start a company before you had the idea of what it will be?
No, we exactly knew what we want to build, right? But we didn't have any prototype, any MVP, we didn't have anything, right? Mm-hmm. But for how did we get in touch with the investors? Yeah, we talked to Pasky.
and redirecting people,
which is the new pipeline for Pasky.
That's smart.
And it was a good enough idea combined with your experience in mind that they listened and were like, all right, let's do this.
So, it was not a big brain idea, which is let's do AI that makes money in trading. So that's, I wouldn't say it's the idea per se. And it was definitely the team, as in it was not just me, from DeepMind. We had quite a few people even together, DeepMind and other places. So it was the team.
Yeah. But this really changes over the course of the history of any business. For us, we knew Mython guys at the beginning, and they basically placed the bet, and I'm super grateful for that, on people again. I think it was more on people than on the problem or opportunity, or But I have experience in raising seed, because then we said, okay, we need to go and raise from outside, from the UK. We wanted to have seed from the UK. We had Czech customers, and I was going to those conferences, and it was so painful for me, because you saw they have different badges. Investor has different badge, different color, and you see investor walking, and you see 10 startup guys pitching them, and they talk, and I was sitting there. I was like, oh shit, and I went coding for 3 days at the conference. And I didn't speak to any investor. So that's how I started. And then they created this matchmaking apps. So I started I changed my mindset, and I said, okay, next time I can't code for 3 days, but at the same time, I'm not able to come to a person and say, hey, I'm Tomáš, I want to pitch you. I can't do that. So what I have done is I spent a week writing them before the conference, and I had scheduled meetings, and that's basically how we sourced the seed investors. But I had 120 of them before I got first yes. And then Series A we had inbound, and we have inbound since then. So it just changes, and it can be tough.
So I want to ask a question: why UK?
Why did you want money from UK?
I didn't want money from Czech people at that stage. We felt. Oh shit!
No, like
This will be cut out. And like,
I'm asking because many of the startups they are trying first to go Germany because it's much closer. It's basically there are a lot of exhibition theoretically.
but it maybe wasn't that developed back then, 2017. It was more in London, and we felt if we want to build a global company, we need global investors. Plus,
I was
back
just thinking
then there was maybe.
Because
few-
it was
few-
at that
few
time when
reasons,
also a lot of this Czech startup moved to London, so I was just curious if it was not deeply like a backup plan,
What kind of backup plan?
like move to London, move company to London, because a lot of the startups at this
Disclaimer:
time-
Rossum has UK entity since the day one, because Czech Republic didn't have ESOPs and doesn't have a way how to
Okay,
issue
so
stock
I
for
understand.
SRO. Back to the topic of how great it is to do that in Prague. Like, so Rossum has a UK-based entity.
Isn't that about to change in terms of the stock? Like being able to give it to employees and stuff?
Yeah, that has changed now, so it's easy.
So I think
There was maybe one last question.
one last
Yeah.
question. Okay, let's do it.
Hi. So basically, the computer scientist guys or engineers, how much of the engineering are you, or scientific methods, are you using outside of engineering or R&D and AI in sales and marketing and stuff like that? Are you going with your gut feeling or are you following actually some rigorous, well, not rigorous methods?
The question was how much we use the scientific training and rigorous method in other fields of engineering. A lot. Because honestly, nowadays, almost all the fields are data-driven and translated into systems. Engineering is about understanding and building systems at the end of the day. So you use it every day. Our COO, who was a chief sales officer, is very systematic, rigorous person. So I think even in Google, it's like that's kind of a mindset, even in other fields, that you want more and more.
Yeah, for me, I think that's what we would do if we would do anything else other than the technical side of things, because we are fortunate enough that we don't have to have sales, marketing, talking to people. Then
Okay. Thank you to everyone. Thanks for
We should thank Míša, Martin, and Tomáš. Right?
listening, guys.
Thank you.